Flosstube number 33. Today it is Sunday, the 13th, I think, 13th of April. And we are moving towards Easter, which is lovely. We have a couple of days off. And at the end of this month, I will have a full week off, which is very nice. I will be spending that on one of the Dutch islands with my mum, so we look forward to that. But the past few weeks have been busy. So work is busy, life is busy, and it's a good busy now. I think up until March it was a busy, too busy, but now it's fine, and the work is still nice. I enjoy my job, and I enjoy my stitching aside from that. So welcome. My name is Hanneke. For those of you who don't know me yet. I have been doing this for almost 2 years, so in May it will be 2 years. And I'm thinking about doing a whip parade, but we'll see if I have energy to do that then. So yeah, almost 2 years, and I'm loving Flosstube. I'm loving spending time watching other Flosstubers. I love filming my own Flosstubes. I love the responses I get. So my last Flosstube, the 32nd one, got such a warm reception, so many new viewers, so many new subscribers. So yeah, it's been overwhelming, and I'm now moving towards the 4,000 subscribers, and I think I'm about 30 away from that. So that feels very surreal to me, and so I thank you all for subscribing and for checking in with me. I really enjoy that. So today I have a couple of whips, a lot of new starts, a finish, several finishes actually, and some shopping. I've done some shopping. But as always, oh, and I have a giveaway winner announcement, and I have another giveaway from het Gaerenhuys. So that's the LNS in Belgium. And of course, I have a cup because yesterday our basically all the spring and summer markets started with the first market here on the center square basically, and it was absolutely lovely. It's not a big market. I think it has about 25 market stands, so it doesn't. It's not massive, but it is so lovely, and they have such good stuff. And of course, I go there to look for Royal Albert cups. That's one of my main things to look for, and it's almost like a sport to go there and find new ones because I now have 85 cups. They're all different. Some of them are part of a series. Some of them are standalone. Some have a name and some don't. So it gets more and more difficult, even though I think there will be hundreds of Royal Albert cups. But it gets more and more difficult to find new ones. But yesterday I found two. So that was lovely. I was so happy. And one of those I will show you today because it is immediately one of my favorites. It is from the Woodland series, and this is Robin. So this is a series with birds. So I have the hummingbird, and I have another bird, forgotten, and this one. And this has an autumny feel to it. So it has beautiful yellows and browns and greys. And then obviously the gold rim and the gold foot. A little bit of gold here. And as you can see, it also has something on the inside. So this is beautifully autumny, and I love that. I love these colors. And autumn is my favorite time of the year. So I saw this cup, and it was only €5 because usually at the market these cups are sold for relatively cheap. So yeah, I was properly pleased. I'm pouring my tea right now, which is a lovely aniseed and fennel tea, which I found in Ghent when I went shopping there. Absolutely lovely. Right, onto the stitching. I have a finish, and it's a small finish this time. This is a Biscornu. I started it last time. It is called, I think, Spring Flower or Spring. Is it? Did I call it that? I don't remember. I'll put it on the screen so you can see it. It's from Etsy. And I also put everything in my description box. So if you have questions about anything I'm showing today, you can see it in the description box. If you're not sure, you can find my email address there and you can just send me an email. Or you can leave me a comment. I always reply to comments. It might take a week because I don't usually do it during the week because I'm busy. But next Sunday, I'll probably sit down and go through all the comments. Lovely colours. Really suits my home decor. And this is the back. It's lovely. I love the process of putting a Biscornu together, and I've decided to always have a Biscornu in my whips because I just enjoy the process. I also enjoy it's just tiny, but it takes a lot of stitching. So this is a good way to spend my time and then have something so cute at the end of it. I love it. The only thing I don't have, and I can't really find them in the Netherlands, is nice pins. I think they have them at het Gaerenhuys. They have them at Casa Senina, so I could purchase them, but I also find them quite expensive, so I haven't yet. But I think this is absolutely lovely. This is all stitched with DMC, and it is stitched with a called for floss. And this is Ada 20 count, so it's one strand. So it is tiny, just tiny. So there you go, absolutely lovely. And I got this little bowl from Tiger, which I think is a Danish shop, but they have several shops here in the Netherlands. And they also had one in Ghent. So that's where I went. Actually, I have two, I think. Anyway, that's where I went. And I saw this lovely little Roten bowl. And I thought, that's perfect. This is a Biscornu I made. And this is by Modern Folk Embroidery. And this is a big one, as you can see. So this takes a lot of stitching. And I did both sides with a different pattern. I'll make another one of that one day because it is a set of 8. But for now, I've made just the one, and I've made one little one here, and I've started another little one. So I'd love to have a bowl full of pretty little Biscornus, and I could swap them out, couldn't I? For when it's autumn, I could have autumn colours and so on. So it has so many possibilities. Let's start with a little sip of my tea. That really fits with my top. I went shopping yesterday and I saw this top and I thought, perfect. I like the colors. Right, then I did a little side step. I've designed a little pattern before because sometimes I look for something and I can't find what I'm looking for. If I can find it, I just purchase it and I stitch it because stitching is my favorite thing to do. But this thing I've been looking for a long time and I couldn't find exactly the thing I was looking for. So I decided to make a few patterns of my own because they're very simple, but they are important to me. So I'm a Christian, and I've been starting a study on the names of God. So I have a lovely little book that goes into 52 names of God. And I am loving that book. I'm loving this specific study. And I thought, how could I reflect on that a little bit more? And I use my stitching a lot to reflect. So I thought, why don't I make a few patterns with those names? So this is my absolute favorite. I think this is absolutely lovely. I bought a very pretty frame And if you're in the Netherlands, this is from Intertown, and they have several beautiful wooden frames. So I got another one from there as well. So yeah, if you want these, Intertown is the way to go. And this is the pattern I made. It's I never, because I think this is Hebrew. I never know how to pronounce it. Nechama, and it is the God of comfort. It really should be the God who gives me comfort, but obviously it needed to fit. So it became the God of comfort. And I thought this was just lovely. And I just um, did this in cursive and then this straight, and I thought that's how I like it. And then I added the lines and the little squiggly things. I have stitched this one with a beautiful um, pink rose color, and I think this was from the Gentle Art. So it has slight color changes, and you can't really see that properly on the screen. It looks quite red actually on the screen for me. Yeah, this is a pattern I loved stitching. I really enjoyed it. I think the letters are very, very nice to stitch. It's an easy stitch, obviously, it doesn't take long. But it was just the right amount of time to focus, and I love this name. So I thought I'll put it in a frame and have it out so I can reflect on it a little bit more. So, um, and I guess comfort in these days is important. Yeah. So that was my first one. And then actually this wasn't my first one. Then I made this one, put it in front of this of the frame. So it's Elyon, the God Most High. And this is stitched with black raven. So it is sort of a black and a blue. And this is all stitched on 20 count with one strand of floss on a sort of a tan Ada. Elyon. So I made that one. And then the first one I made, I loved the most until I realized I had misspelled, which is just dumb, really, isn't it? I love the name Elroy, which is God who sees me. I love that name. And I I thought I had that in my head, and I just charted it. And then recently I opened my book on that page, and I saw it's Elroy with a Y at the end, um, instead of a uh, instead of that one. So it should be ROI instead of a Y. That's what it is. Um, so I still like this one. And I'm gonna leave it, but yeah, it's not obviously. I do love the frame again, Intratuin. Very pretty. It fits perfectly in a 10 by 15 um, picture frame. If you like these, now not this one, but the other two, I put them on my Etsy shop. So if you'd like to stitch those, that's where you find them. And they're not expensive, and it might give you a nice time, a good time to reflect on these and to think on these. I might put out more uh, because I'll continue my study, so I might make a few more and then stitch them and put them on my Etsy shop. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. That was the first thing I did after my last Flosstube. And then I thought it's time to start new things because at that point I had, I think, whips. My whip stash was about 24. And I don't mind having 30 whips. I like change. I like to change with the seasons. I like change anyway. I'm a project manager. All I do is make change happen. So yeah, it suits me very well. So I decided to start a few new things because I just wanted to add to my collection of whips. And I think my last two or three videos, I had several finishes 3 or 4 finishes each video. So yeah, it was time for new stitches. This is a piece by Cuoree Batticuore or something like that. And it is lavender. Now, my reason to stitch this, and the moment I saw this, I fell in love with it, is because I lived in the UK for 7 years. So for about 5 years, I lived in the West Midlands. So I lived in Stratford-upon-Avon and I studied at the University of Warwick, where I was doing my PhD studies. And I often visited uh, uh, the landmarks and state houses. I love that in the UK, old churches, things like that. And when they have a gift shop, they always have a section of lavender. So many a times I bought lavender soap or something like that. So it reminds me of my time there, and it reminds me of a lot of lovely outings and yeah, good times basically. So I thought I'd love to stitch that. But when I got the pattern, which I got a PDF, I saw that the purple that was used is more pinkish, and the way I remember it from the UK, it is more purple. So I changed the colors. I just picked from what I have. So I picked some DMC, I picked some overdyed. I just got a selection of colors that I can stitch with. If you're interested in the colors, send me an email and I can put them out for you. Sorry, and this is how far I got. So I think this color is as charted because it's a beautiful purplish, brown, gray mixture. It's a very nice color actually. And then it's a mixture of whatever color and it's very purplish. And I prefer this color with lavender. It does require me to just pick and choose here and there. There's only one green. It's a very nice green. Um, so yeah, very happy with this start. It is a sampler. I haven't stitched many samplers, but I'm really enjoying this so far. I enjoy doing a little motif and then being able to move on to a different style of stitching or, a different motif. So I have had a blast so far. This is a 20 count, so I'm stitching with one strand of floss. And it is just, I think it's off-white or regular white, I'm not sure. And I love this. This was difficult. I had to unpick this several times because it somehow I just kept being off with my counting. So that was a challenge. But yeah, since that's finished, I've been flying through the rest, basically. And I really love it. Really love it. The PDF is not very nicely readable. So she only sells paper patterns, but you can then via Etsy. But then you can send her a message and say, could you send me the PDF? And she's very quick. So immediately, I think 5 minutes later, I had the PDF. But the PDF is slightly, the table is slightly, the squares are not square anymore. So it's difficult to read. And maybe that didn't help with the counting either over here, because sometimes it looks like it's um, a 3, but it's actually 4. So, so that's yeah, difficult. But I'll get used to it, and it's fine. I love this color scheme. I love the purple, um, and I look forward to stitching this stunning sampler. I don't know if you've all seen it. Some of you probably won't because YouTube didn't really pick it up in the algorithm. But I started a podcast. So I don't watch a lot of podcasts, but there's one that I really love, which I think is called side dish, and it's a British one. And I love that one. And it's usually about half an hour, and you have a guest. And I think I've taken some inspiration from that one, and then made it stitchy. So, so I've done my first episode with Sew Me Sarah, Sarah from Ireland, basically. And she is, first of all, she is just the loveliest person. She's very, very kind, very thoughtful, um, funny. So it was absolutely lovely to spend over an hour with her chatting about her stitching and about her reasons for being part of this community. And she talked a lot about the importance of the community and what that meant for her. She talked a bit about mental health and how stitching helps that. It was an absolutely lovely chat. Um, so yeah, if you haven't seen that yet, feel free. It's my just my previous video. I will number all the podcasts with podcast one. I will call them Flosstube, but then podcast one, um, or two, because the second one has already been filmed. So that one is with uh, um, oh, I'm going to say this wrong now. I'm going to put it on the screen because she explained to me that her name is slightly different from what I keep saying. Um, anyway, it's Kim. I know that. I just don't know her handle anymore. Uh, yeah, can't remember. She is absolutely, absolutely lovely as well. And her style of stitching is stunning. And I don't necessarily stitch the types of pieces that she stitches. But every time I watch her, I think, oh, I should really. I should stitch all those birds, and because it is so pretty, and her finishing is just immaculate. So I've had a lovely chat with her as well. It was just lovely to meet these kinds of people who are so um, yeah, passionate about what we do, and so willing to share about what it means to them. So it was a lovely chat, and it will be posted, I think, in about a week. So that will be podcast two. And then my third podcast um, is already scheduled to film. So I will film that at the beginning of um, May, and I will not tell you yet who that is, but absolutely you're gonna love it. And then I'm trying to schedule another interview after that with somebody else. So and there's this morning I was watching a Flosstube and I thought, oh, she'd be lovely too. So I might invite her as well. And I hope to do sort of regularly, whenever I have time as well, because I do have to fit it in. I'd like to do an episode of a podcast. And if you have any requests for people you'd like to see in the podcast, just let me know, and I can see if I can find them and ask them, and if they're willing to do it. So yeah, and I'd love for you to go over and have a look because it was the first one with Sarah was absolutely lovely. Right, another new start. I went to het Gaerenhuys last weekend, and that's absolutely lovely. I love spending time there. It's quiet. They are just letting you roam around. They just let you do your thing. So I did my thing. And I bought quite a few things, but this was from Teresa Kogut. And I haven't stitched much from her. I've stitched a freebie. Um, oh, How He Loves Us. Love that one. Love that one. I've done that for Easter. This one I loved as well because I love the sentiment, and I think it's a year old maybe, or is this recent? Don't know. It is Voice So Sweet, and the saying is, he speaks, and the sound of his voice is so sweet, the birds hush their singing. And I love this one. I don't know why, because her style doesn't always speak to me, but this one did. The saying did speak to me. And I love the little birds. I love that house. And I'm not a house stitcher, but that house is lovely. I'd love to have a house like that. And I am making a few changes. So you can see here maybe it's difficult to see. In front of the house, like here, there's a white path. I don't think I will stitch that. So I think I will, because that's a lot of just whitish. Um, and I don't think it adds much to that. So I think I will just stitch the flowers and the house and the birds and obviously the same. I also changed the color of the fabric, and that's because I was at Gaerenhuys and I found this fabric, and they said to me um, that one is no longer in production. So that's a shame. And she didn't know exactly which color it was, but it's very, very pretty. And it is of the same density of color like Dirty Ada, but then it has more of a pink undertone. So it's absolutely beautiful, and I thought it would go very, very nice with the colors of this pattern. Let's do it like that. So I have made a few changes just because some of her colors are no longer visible on this color of fabric. As you can see, this is lighter. So I've had to make a few changes in here. Um, I've gone with I think I've changed one of her DMC to a Weeks Dye Works or Gentle Art so that the pink is slightly darker. So that's just a change to accommodate my fabric, really. Yeah, I'm loving the fabric, and it was quite a big piece, so I can stitch more on this. Um, and I'm loving the colors. I'm stitching all the rest of it with called for. I do find that my green, which is called for, and it is, oh, I don't have it here, and it had a very weird name, um, is lighter than the one on her, but it's over dyed, so yeah, that happens. But I still like the lighter one on my fabric, so it's fine. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this one. Um, it's not too big, but it does have a lot of stitching in it. But it's easy stitching. It is one of those stitches that I probably will take with me when my mum and I go to Schelling, because it is easy stitching. I can still chat to my mum whilst I'm stitching. Yeah, because it's easy. And I love this. Love this, love this. So another happy new start. Then the Biscornu, and I will put it on the screen. It's from the very same designer as it's something with sun stitches something as this one. And she has several pretty ones, and I bought several of them. They were in sale. I think they were 50% off or something. And I like the color palette that she has chosen, but I wanted to start this on an evening, and some of the colors I didn't have. And then I decided to just use something else. And I went for Soie d'Alger because I have a very nice collection of Soie d'Alger. And I decided it was very similar to the color scheme she has picked with DMC. And this is on 20 count Ada with one strand of Soie d'Alger. I'm sorry about the color. We go from very, very bright, sunny, to a bit dark, and then the sun comes out again. So it's a bit difficult to manage this morning. So this is different kinds of pink, from a light pink to a medium pink to a dark pink, and then a nice green. And I will just enjoy this little stitch. It's an easy stitch. I think she categorizes it as beginner. I'm not a beginner stitcher, but I really enjoy symmetry and an easy stitch that when I'm tired, I can just grab this and do a few stitches. And I love the process of putting the Bisconu together. And it will fit in nicely with my other Bisconus, color-wise. So it'd be a nice spring basket. Now the next one, I just told you about my podcast with Sarah. And Sarah showed several beautiful pieces, but there was one piece where I fell in love right that moment, and I thought, I need that. I need that stitch, and I need it today. So I actually, I think I bought it the next morning. Um, it is so pretty. And I'll put it on the screen for you. I'm calling it Gather. It's by Liz Matthews, I think. Hello from Liz Matthews. And I don't think she's done any more in this style, and I hope she will do more in this style because I think it's almost like a pencil drawing that you're stitching. It's uh, very much not full coverage. So you're just drawing the outside. Um, and Sarah done an absolutely stunning rendition of it with a beautiful icy blue. And I thought I'd like to use a fabric that I received, and I'll show you the fabric. I like this. This is a fabric I received from Marlene, who's a viewer, sorry. And she is from America, and she got this for me. And I think, is it color and cotton? I'll have to look that up. If it is not, I will write on the screen whatever it is. And it is the color Dove. And she gifted this to me. It was Stitchy Kindness, and I have kept it. It's 20 count. And I thought I need to keep that for a special occasion. And also for a pattern where the fabric can speak as much as the floss. And with this pattern, I felt that was the case because it is only the pencil drawing lines basically. So the fabric is just as present as the floss. And so I thought I'll just have to find the right color. That was really difficult because it has some sort of grey blue undertone in this. So I wanted to stitch it with greens, and I couldn't find a green to fit on this fabric, but I still wanted to use the fabric. So I put aside the greens, and I thought at some point I was just fed up, and I thought I can't use this fabric. I don't know what to do. And I just grabbed this color because I like the color. Now this was another gift, and this was a gift from Terry in Australia, and this is a dinky dye. And it is called 20, it's number 22. I forget the name. It's Sapphire. Very pretty name it was. I think it was Sapphire. It's number 22. And it is a light icy blue all the way up to a dark blue. Not sure if you can see it right. Colors don't always show nicely on screen. But if you want to look it up, it is Dinky Dye number 22. And she gifted me with one of those. And I have always loved that color, even though I don't have a lot of blue in my house. But this floss, I have always looked at and thought, I'd love to stitch something nice with that because it's so pretty. And I was just holding it, liking the color. And then I sort of thought, oh, that might actually be nice on the fabric. And so, and this is not a color scheme you'll see a lot of on this channel, but I am loving it and I'm flying. And I'm not sure it translates very nicely on the screen. I think this is a silk, and I find that silk doesn't always pick up nicely on the screen. So now the blue is lighter, a lot lighter than it's more of an icy blue that sort of sits on top of this beautiful fabric. Anyway, I am loving it, and I cannot wait to start my hunt for a frame in exactly this color, this beautiful icy blue, because that will bring the pattern forward even more. So yeah, I see it in my head. In my head, it's finished. But obviously, I have a bit of stitching to do. I think I've done about 25% already. So I have been flying through. This is one of those pieces where I just grab a strand put a strand in, and then stitch something else. But yeah, it's absolutely lovely. So Marlene, thank you very much for this fabric. It's perfect. I've put it away for a while because I wanted to find the right piece, and I think I found it. And Terry, thank you very much for the floss because it's just perfect. And I look forward to having this finished, and I'm gonna frame this one, yeah. But I have to find the right frame for it, and it has to be exactly the color that is on here. And again, it is much more icy blue than it is on your. Um, yeah, it doesn't translate. It's the silk, I think. That's a shame. But I love the pattern. I love the fabric, and I love the floss, and I think that's why I'm just running through it. Right, and Dinky Dyes. That is the kind. Oh, beautiful floss. I love stitching with silk. I find that I'm moving more and more towards 20 count. So I actually started one other piece yesterday, and I really like the piece. It is from Mojo Stitches. She also has a floss tube. I think it's a beautiful piece. It's very unique. It's um, it's modern, but it isn't. So I really like it. I find it very intriguing. I'd seen it before on her floss tube, and I thought, oh, I'd like to stitch that. And then I came across it on Etsy, and I thought, I'm just gonna try it. But I do want to change the colors because she is stitching that with silk, with a silk that I cannot find here. So I had to make a substitution anyway. She does give a substitution for DMC, but I don't really like the suggested colors. I find that they are very different from the picture. So I decided to make my own complete change, uh, and I came up with this color palette. Let's see if I can, which is beautiful greens and sort of salmony pinks. So you have 3770 from DMC and 3771. And they are beautiful colors. I think this is one of the color schemes that my mum loves as well. So beautiful greens, beautiful sort of pink, salmony colors. And I thought that'd be lovely. And then I was looking for fabric and I couldn't find a fabric to fit it on. And then I thought I found an 18 count because I've bought it as an 18 count. But when I was sort of halfway up, because it's only a line on the side basically, I thought this is not 18 count because it's way too big. So I'm stitching it now on a 16 count, and I don't know if I love it's a dirty Ada. So I'm not sure if I want to continue on the 16 count. I'm not sure if I love the colors at the moment. I don't know. I do want to stitch the piece though. I think it will be nicer on a 20 count, my 20 count. And it will be beautiful with silk. And if I could get the silk, the one she started, I would go and get that. I haven't tried 1, 2, 3 Stitch yet, so I will look at them. And if they sell it, I will purchase it from them. And then I will restart on a 20 count. But I love the pattern. I think it's very unique. And I like unique. I like different. It's flowers, but a very different kind of flowers than I've ever done. Right, let's go to my giveaway win and my new giveaway. So this one I showed you last time. This is a gift, not necessarily from me. This is gifted by het Gaerenhuys to the viewers of my Flosstube. Because I have done a shop tour, which is Flosstube 30. And as a thank you, they send me this one and the one that will be a giveaway today. This I asked you to put in the word flower, and a lot of you did. A lot of you did. So this was a popular pattern. So thank you all very much for taking part. I really do appreciate that. But only one can win, obviously, and that is Yvonne Verhoeven. So that'll be a Dutch lady, probably. And I think she answers in Dutch. So Yvonne Verhoeven, 9388. So if that is you, you can find my email address in my description box and you can send me an email and then I will send it to you. So that one is coming to you. Congratulations. And then they were kind enough to send me another one. And this is from Madame Chantilly. And this is a very cute one with cats. And I know a lot of you love cats. And rain. It's a very cute little pattern, isn't it? So this will be, it's a bit sad to put rain as a word. So let's not do that. Let's do umbrella. The word umbrella. It's a nice word. Pretty, isn't it? By the way, on my last, I think it was on my podcast, there were a lot of similar reactions from a guy asking, "How are you doing?" to a lot of my viewers. And I think it was a robot um, profile. So I've taken out all the comments that I could find. Do not respond to those. I think it's a robot, and they just sort of in one go give all these the same sort of comments to everyone. So if you get anything like that, do not reply. If it's me, you'll see my little picture and everything. Uh, and if it's one from our community, that's absolutely fine. But if it is uh, like a robot like that who asks you how are you doing, and don't reply to that. And also don't reply if anyone says, "Oh, you've won anything," because I will always only mention it in my floss tubes. So I will never write in a comment that you've won something. Also, don't use the words winning or giveaway or gift or anything. Just write the word umbrella. And you could put it in a sentence, but you don't have to. You can just put the word umbrella. And then this might be yours. Cats in the Rain, it's called. There you go. Then I did a bit of stitching, obviously. I'm putting these on one piece of fabric. So these are by Summerhouse. Oh, sorry, I might have shown you the pattern. These are by Summerhouse Stitche Workes. And it is Love, Faith, and Hope. And I have already stitched Love. I'm currently stitching Hope. And then at the top, I will do Faith. But I always start at the bottom right side. So I've done Love and I'm working on Hope. I love this stitch. I have changed the colors because it's charted with blues and golds, which is very pretty indeed. If you want to see it stitched on a full length of fabric with these colors, you can go to Welcome Stitchery because they have one of their stitches has done that. And I am stitching it with pinks and greens. And I am loving this. Loving it. It's the symmetry that speaks to me. I love symmetry. I love flowers. I love the sentiment, faith, love, and hope. And yeah, I'm just really, really enjoying it. I've done the pink, the dark green, and then the light green, and now I'm back to a dark green. But the basket is happening. I think this one is a little less dense on stitching than this one is. So yeah, that's fine. It's a 20, this is an 18 count, sorry, it's an 18 count with 2 strands of floss, and that's why it looks so saturated, all these stitches. It's almost lying on top of the fabric. It's so, so pretty. Well, it's obviously lying on top of it, but you know what I mean. It's really coming forward. You can feel it when you're. This will be a stitch. You can if someone is blind and you want to explain to them what stitching is, you could let them feel this because you can really feel it. Love, love, love. You could also stitch these apart. Obviously, they've done that. They've made pillows out of it. I do find with a 20 count, it would still be a reasonably sized pillow, and I'm very happy I've chosen to put them all together on one piece of fabric because I think it will be absolutely stunning. And this will be another one that I might want to frame. I've got quite a few pieces at the moment that I really, really like that I would love to frame professionally. I just don't have place for all of them, so I don't know what to do with all my stitching. I might have to sell it or just give it to a secondhand shop and hope someone finds it. I think I was watching the Hugo Stitcher and she'd found a Mirabilia somewhere. And I thought, oh, wouldn't it be lovely if someone would find one of my pieces and be so happy with it? That would be worth it. Yeah, I'd love that. We started Modern Folk Embroidery by Jacob, and this is an older piece. It is on the wings of a dove, something like that. Something with a dove. And I've chosen a beautiful sort of darkish mocha 20 count, and I am stitching it. A lot of you have emailed me and asked me, what is your color? And my color is Swadelge, and it is cream. So it's Abaresque, Swadelge, silk, and it's the color cream, which is 4102. And I will show it. Oh, need to do it right then. There you go. 4102. It's a beautiful cream, and because of the color of my fabric, it almost looks white, but it's not too white. It is a very soft white, but it isn't. It's cream, but it's just the color of my fabric that makes that work. So it's one strand of floss, and yesterday and today I've done a lot of stitching on this. I think I've done about 1,000 stitches. I've added this little bit of the motif down here, and then I added this whole motif here. So that is about 1,000 stitches. It might not look like it, but it definitely is. It's very, very tiny because it's 20 count, obviously. And I do like the way the Swadelge covers with white or with cream. Yeah, I love this. I love the pattern. I love the motifs. It's so elegant. It's an elegant stitch. And it stitches away quite quickly. So you can have good progress if you spend 2 days just focused on this. It doesn't have to be finished quickly. This is another one I will frame because it's massive and it's beautiful. But it is my stitch to reflect on peace. And I think we need a lot of that. The happenings over the last weeks have been, I think, worrying. I mean, some of you have mentioned that you were worried in emails, and I share the worry, and I think we need peace. So I am stitching this piece to think on peace. Yeah, it's beautiful. And silk is my absolute favorite. If I could, I would stitch only on 20 count with silk. That would be my absolute favorite. It's the silk is so soft, and the 20 count makes everything look very, very pretty. So yeah, if I had all the money in the world, I would buy the full line of Swadelge and all the dinky dyes. Yeah, I would like that. But I can't, and I do have to say that the pieces I do stitch with DMC are just as beautiful. Let's be honest, because the next one is stitched with DMC. This is the coverage is less good, I do have to say. So the thread seems slightly thinner than a silk thread, but that's absolutely fine. This is Abaresque by Jan Hicks, When I started this piece, I thought I would enjoy it. I didn't think I would love it as much as I do. So I've done enough to move it over the 50%. So I think I've done 51% or something like that. And I love it. So I've done two letters. I've done this whole motif here. And again, that is a lot of stitching. So it might not look like a lot, but it is a lot of stitching. Those are big motifs, and I stitch it on 20 count. So yeah, that means I'm taking my time with it. But look how pretty that is. I'm using a slightly different color. I'm using 815 or 816 in that range. And I'm stitching it on a Nuga 20 count Ada. So again, a 20 count. I have a lot of 20 counts and I love stitching with one strand. I prefer a loop start. I haven't yet figured out how to do a loop start with one strand. I think you can do that, but I haven't yet figured it out. But yeah, it works, and I love the one strand pieces. And I think that's part of the reason why this piece. Oh, that's the wrong one. I love that one. Let's grab it. This piece feels not delicate enough for me because the pattern is delicate. But because it is a 16 count, it feels too, because I keep working on 20 count. So a 16 then suddenly feels very big. And yeah, I think all the pieces I worked on in the past week have been 20 count. Past weeks, sorry, since my last. So yeah, it's the 16 count feels too big for me at the moment. But this is absolutely lovely. I love this pattern by Jan Hicks. I think it's stunning. It would look lovely in blue as well. Be beautiful. Green. You could do whatever you want, really. Then, oh, my own one. I am loving my very own reproduction. So in the Fraeylemaborg in the north of the Netherlands, and some of you have heard this story now a million times. I apologize, but for those who haven't, in the north of the Netherlands, the Fraeylemaborg has a small sofa that has stitched sections. So the armrests are stitched and the backrest is stitched, and then the seating area is stitched. And it was stitched by the lady of the house, Louisa Hora Siccama, and it was stitched in the early 1800s. I went to visit there with my mum and my sister, and I saw that little bench and I fell in love specifically with one of the armrests. And you will see a picture next to my head somewhere. And I asked them, can I reproduce this or do you have a pattern so I can stitch it? They said, we do not have a pattern and you are welcome to reproduce it. So that is what I'm doing. And I was stuck on the color of the red flower. And some of you have given me tips in the comments. So I put those colors together and then I went to Pipo's, which is which is nearby. And I pulled all the reds that I could find, and I thought I had 2 work days from home, so I just put it on my couch. And every time I had a little break, I walked past it and I decided not that color, that color. So I kept sort of coming back to it. And then I made a decision and I stitched it and I just kept stitching. And look how pretty that is. That is stunning, isn't it? I think my colors keep being brighter than the original. Now the original is 200 years old, so I'm okay with it. Also, she has a different fabric color, so it almost looks like it has been sort of an off-white that has now been discolored a little bit. I am using a very light tan. This is my absolutely favorite cross stitch color. So I have quite a lot of stash on this for 20 count. And it's stunning. Just stunning. I'm now thinking this might be a nice color also for the Vienna Roses by Mojo Stitches, but I'll think on that. Um, yeah, I absolutely love this. Look at that flower. And I just kept going and I kept going and then I thought this is a nice place to stop because now I have to make a decision on whether I want to stitch the big pinkish flowers or whether I want to leave them out. I don't love those. They look a bit like a blob. But because my colors come out brighter and more contrasting here and there, I think I'm going to stitch it and hope that my colors will again be slightly brighter so that it comes out nicer. That's the hope. But for now, this is where I am, and I am tremendously proud of how that red flower has come out. I think it's stunning, and I'm still so happy with my fabric choice and the fact that I changed the color because I restarted it on this fabric and it's so stunning. So my aim is to stitch yet another flower, the pink one, and I hope to finish this sort of by probably after my summer holidays. I will put this pattern in my Etsy shop once it's finished. But obviously, because my first time making a reproduction, I have to stitch the whole thing to make sure I have the right colors. So, and I keep going back. I keep going back and forth. I rechart it with different colors. So yeah, it's not a stitch where I can sit down and stitch. It's a stitch where I have my laptop open. I have my pattern keeper on my phone. So I have so many things open, and I have colors of thread lying around. So it is not a relaxing stitch. But with the flower, once I had the colors, I could just keep going, and then it was very, very nice. And yeah, the 20 count makes it more delicate because I think the armrest is stitched on bigger fabric. So yes, I am tremendously proud of this, and I hope that the rest of it will be just as pretty as this. Last but not least on my whips is my moon deer. I haven't done a lot on moon deer, but because we all love it, I'm just going to show you it anyway. And also, this piece is very much moving towards 75%. So difficult to show you. There you go. That is moon deer. So I have added this motif here and this border, and I've added all these green leaves. Now don't be fooled, again, that is a lot of stitching, so it might not look like I've done much, but this is a whole morning of stitching because again, this is 20 count. It is one strand, and this is also stitched with variegated weeks dye work, so I have my own conversion. And one of you said, because at first I had the stripy look and I didn't like it. And one of you said, well, do the outline first and then you fill it in at random. So that's how I stitch it, but that does go slower than when I just do rows back and forth. But I'm still very happy with that tip. It's perfect and it makes this piece look absolutely stunning. So yeah, I have one more of these motifs to go here and then I will continue with the middle flower over here. So what I'm trying to do now is work in rows up like that so that I don't have to scrunch because I stitch in hand, so I don't want to, yeah, destroy all this pretty stitching by crunching it in my hand. Stunning piece, isn't it? It's by Owl Forest Embroidery, and they have a million stunning pieces. Every piece they come out with, it's just stunning. I could stitch that. But yeah. The colors I use, because I still almost weekly get an email from someone saying, what are your colors? Because I love your colors. I'm using Weeks Dye Works. I am using Bullfrog for the green. I'm using Majestic Purple for the purple. I am using Whiskey for the sort of yellow gold. And I'm using Driftwood for the main sort of brownish background. So yeah, that's my 4 colors. The purple is lighter in real life than it is on the screen. So you see it quite dark. It isn't. In real life, it is lighter. Definitely lighter. Beautiful. And I'm stitching it on ivory 20 count Ada. So another 20 count. And this one will definitely be framed. Because I've put my little house up there now, but that's where it's going to go. Right, another sip of tea. Which is cold by now, but that's okay. I like fennel tea, and I don't mind fennel tea when it's cold. I went shopping because, just like all of you, I was watching the mayhem happening in our economies, and I thought, let's go and spend some money. Yeah. So, first of all, I went thrifting, and I went to my shop just around the corner here. And I thrifted this stunning big frame. So this was only €2. And it has gold, a beautiful sort of greenish color. And then this is off white. So I will find a beautiful piece that I can stitch in here. It's a stunning frame. It's nice and thick. It's heavy as well. The back is nice. So yeah, I couldn't believe when I saw this one and I thought that's mine. I want it. I want that one. And look, it's greenish, so it will fit perfectly in this decor of mine, which has a lot of green. So yeah, very happy to find that one. Then I bought patterns. This is by Madame Chantilly, and it has 3 options in there. So you have the long with the alphabets one, you have the one with a little house, and you have the little pillows. Oh, actually 4 little pillows here. And this one is summer. So they have it for every season. I don't like every season. I love this one, so I'm going to make this one. I like summer and I like spring. So I bought summer and I bought spring. And I'm still trying to find the right Ada to stitch this on. Because the Ada I have, then the house sort of falls away. So I have to find a slightly different color. But yeah, this is beautiful. Beautiful. And I love this frame, by the way. I think it's a stunning frame. So that's Madame Chantilly. Like I said, they also have spring, and I like spring. I love this bright color with the yellow. So I will definitely stitch these. And I both like this little one and I like the long one. So I might stitch both of them. And I also stitch things that I put in a box underneath my bed, and I'm quite happy to never have that up. So I don't necessarily have to stitch things to put it in my house. But this one in particular, I would love to make in a long pillow. And if I stitch on 20 count, these are quite small, so they could be a lovely little pillow. So yeah, love those patterns. Lelinde Isabel is a designer that I have thought of buying something from again and again, and every time I don't. And I think it's her pictures. But I was in Gaerenhuys and she said to me, the pictures are not good. You can look at the pattern. So I was allowed to take the pattern out, and the pattern is really nice. Picture is not great, but it is that little mouse with sort of a thing of with flowers over her head. Yeah, it's very pretty. The colors are very nice, and I decided to start with a small one, and maybe in future stitch a bit bigger ones. But it's very cute. The pictures are just not great. Then I came across this one. Never saw this one. It is from Harina Hittel of Artful Offerings. I didn't even know that was existing. But I was very happy to find this. It is Whatever is Lovely, Dwell on These Things. And I think this is very pretty. I might make changes. I do not like the W, for instance. So I might want to change that. Um, I love the lettering of Whatever is Lovely. I think that's very pretty. I might change colors on this. Um, I might omit all the little dots everywhere. So I think if I stitch this, or when I stitch this, it will be different from what you see here. But I do like the pattern. Whatever is lovely, dwell on these things. And then this one, because this is my absolute favorite, and it is a large sampler. It's from Croquette or Crochet à Gogo, and I don't have the picture. I will put the picture of the full sampler next to me. I think it's very pretty. I love the colors. I think it's whimsical, but not too much. It's just cute, and it is a cute stitch to sort of put somewhere on a door where my supplies are resting. So yeah, I'll make little pillows because the picture on here shows it in little pillows. And you all know my love for pillows. So this could also be a lovely, lovely set that you could put together. So I haven't started it yet because I don't know whether I want to stitch the whole thing together or whether I want to stitch it in pillows. So I'll consider that for a little bit longer and then make my decision. But I'm very happy to have this pattern. I've wanted that one for a long time. And there you go. That's my Flosstube. I had lots to share today. I had stitching to share. I had my podcast to tell you about. And it is only early on a Sunday morning, so I have a lovely day ahead of me where I can do a lot of stitching. The weather is now not great anymore. The sun is away, and I like that. I'm not very good with the bright sun, so it's nice weather and I can do a lot of stitching. So I look forward to today. Um, if you haven't seen the cast yet, have a look. If it's not for you, that's fine too. If you're not yet subscribed, but you did like the video, please hit the subscribe button and hopefully I can reach 4,000 for my next video. And my next video is likely to going to be my celebratory floss tube because I have been floss tubing then for 2 years. So I look forward to that one. In the meantime, I will go on holiday with my mum. I will enjoy Easter and I will probably do a lot of stitching. I wish you all a lovely time. I hope that you will take time to rest and enjoy time with family and friends and people you love, or just spend time on your own. I spend a lot of time on my own. I love that. So, yeah, do whatever you prefer. And I hope to see you again in about 3 to 4 weeks. Thank you very much for watching.